Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about Married at First Sight Decision Day Part 1. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Before we get to this long, drawn-out decision day, this video is sponsored by Teamu, and it is a website where you can find great clothing items as well as accessories for a very affordable price. And I'm going to share with you some of my favorites. So make sure you check out Teamu's website. It will be linked down below. With that being said, y'all already know how I feel. I told y'all on my last review, they are dragging this out. In case you didn't see the last review, here's the schedule. They literally told us on this episode that they are going to give us 3 more episodes after decision day. That is not what we signed up for. Like, y'all didn't even do this for interesting seasons. Y'all didn't even do this for the season with Amani and Woody, and they had a whole panorama. We could have used a nice little update on them, right? It's just crazy to me that we're going to get all these updates before we even get the reunion. The reunion better be good. And then y'all had the nerve to drag out Decision Day 2 parts. This literally could have been 30 minutes. First of all, we only have 4 couples, okay? Majority of them, we already know what they're going to say, or we really don't even care what they say, because clearly these people ain't going to end up together in the long run, except for maybe one. I was bored out of my mind. I was half paying attention. I don't even know how I have notes here in front of me, because I was not paying attention. I was doing everything but. Oh, let's just go ahead and get started. With Nicole and Chris, Nicole is being neurotic once again. She's scared this man is going to change his mind after spending one night away from her. And honestly, with the way you be acting, I wouldn't even blame him. I wouldn't even blame him. At least he gets a night where he doesn't have to constantly be questioning whether he cares about you. Maybe he looked at you the wrong way and you turn that into something. Like, it is so annoying how Nicole can just constantly create problems in this relationship when y'all don't have any. Y'all haven't even had an argument yet. He even said in his confessional that the only way he would say no is because he would be tired of her constantly questioning him, and that's annoying. And I don't even blame him. So when they did meet up at decision day, she kind of turned, like, it's cute to miss your partner after one night, obviously, especially when you spend every day together. Clearly you're gonna miss them, but she made it so weird, like, oh, I went to bed at 7 because what is life without my husband, and I kept reaching for him throughout the night. Girl, calm down. Like, for real, like, it ain't never that deep. Like, she just makes it so weird. They asked, you know, what are some issues that they are dealing with, and he basically says, well, we're all thinking that she constantly creates issues where there aren't any, and she feels like, you know, she wants him to be more motivated and like follow through with him saying like, oh, I want to get up early, or I want to work out. Follow through with this so you can, you know, feel good about yourself at the end of the day. It'll build your confidence. And he agreed that she's right about that. And obviously both of them said yes. There's no shock there. Honestly, we would have heard some horror music if he did say no. He ended up surprising her with flowers. I feel like the better surprise would have been if he would have surprised her with like a lease, or with, ooh, I found us a place. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that she really, really wants. Flowers, that's so played out, especially on decision day. Come on, let's do something major. Let's do something big. Let's do something that will really, you know, get her going. If you're gonna do a surprise, child, he could have kept that surprise. Next, let's move on to Gina and Clint. Clint looked really nice in that suit. That was a really nice look for him. Gina looked very pretty in her dress, her hair and everything. She looked really nice. When they sat down and talked with the experts, he said it was 90% positive in their relationship. Who cares if y'all got along if it's not romantic? Y'all are married. Like, who cares if y'all could be good friends at that? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, let's be real about this. Y'all are at decision day. Let's be honest about it at this point, at least. He does say that, you know, he's a bit more active than she is, and, you know, maybe that's like something that, you know, something that they clashed on. And she claims that if he would have planned more things, she would have participated. Girl, he took you, I remember he took her on a sailing date, and that's clearly something active that he likes to do. Maybe you could have asked to go with him on some of his activities. You know, he could have invited her. I will say he could have, but she's not very inviting. She's not very personable with him. She seems very standoffish. I don't blame him for not doing it. She threw him under the bus even further and said things could have been better if he would have went above and beyond to pursue her. Once again, you were not open to be pursued. I feel like if he would have done anything more than what he did, we would have still got the same results that we have today. You just didn't want Clint. You didn't like the pushback he gave you on the honeymoon. It's been done since then. Let's not pretend like y'all relationship ever had a chance. And also, I love that he brought up the fact that she would constantly bring up the fact that they were uncomfortable, and it, you know, it feels forced. I don't want to feel forced. You didn't even want to move in with him. Like, of course he's not going to try to be overbearing so you can move out. Like, I'm so over her. I'm so glad that he said no. I'm so glad, well, both of them were going to say no, but I'm just so glad he got to go first and say that and get that off of his chest. It turns out that he really does love Hank, and he has a great relationship with that dog, and he even offered her $10,000 in order to have Tank to himself. And I kind of felt bad for him in that way, because, you know, he did build up a relationship. I feel like he got closer with Hank than he did with Gina. Something else that I found very interesting is that in the previews that, you know, they're going to be talking to the lawyer about the dog. Like, are they really going to fight over this dog, over this sham of a marriage? I don't know. All I know is I'm always on Clint's side, so I'm not mad. We also saw in the previews that Clint will be kissing Dominique, but we already saw that long ago. I don't know why they played that preview so early. It kind of ruined the rest of the season. While I'm on the subject, she's going to be FaceTiming Gil. Like, girl, will you sit down? Will you sit down? Like, I feel like you do have a lot of growing up to do first. Like, you should do some me time. You should do some healing. You should do some therapy. You just hopping from man to man right now. And Gil seemed like the type of man he ready to settle down. So, I don't know. He is fine, though. So, I'm not mad at you. Okay? But chill a little bit. Oh, and how could I forget? Gina and Max seem like they're going to be dating. They're going to be going on a date. And so I feel like that confirms all of my suspicions that when he slid up in that DM, he wasn't just trying to talk to her friend that was a singer. That was his slick way of trying to ease his way in with her too. And he said he knew for a fact that she found him attractive. Gina, you're trifling. Both of y'all trifling. You can't tell me that they were not talking and in each other's DMs and Kinky and cackling about Clint. You can't tell me. You cannot tell me that y'all were not. I'm glad Clint got away from it. Y'all deserve each other. I hope y'all do date. Gina, I hope he take you on a ride, baby. I hope he take you on a ride, because he ain't the catch that you think he is. Because you did Clint dirty for no reason. You never gave him a chance. I wish you would have just set him free a long time ago. There was no point of going through all this torture. It feels very similar to the Eris and Jasmine situation. We're going to get to it, but you know, she's very much she's just fake about it. She's willing to pretend and, you know, act like she's, oh, you know, but you knew from day one you didn't want Clint. And it's sad because he seems like such a nice guy. He just seems like someone who would have really given his all as a husband had he gotten at least half in return. You know, he just seems like one of those guys. But I'm gonna let it go. Let's move on to Eris and Jasmine. So we see them before decision day, you know, the night before when the man packs up and they're about to leave, and you know, they spent the night away from each other. Before he left, they're basically like, their reason for saying yes, if they did say yes, would be they have so much fun together. And they did scrape up some clips of them having fun or laughing or whatever, making it seem like they had such a good time. That is not what we saw this season. We saw Jasmine's confidence go from here to here. Okay, I do feel like she's building it back up. These past few episodes, she seems like she's getting herself back. She's getting it back, right? But like looking at those clips of her when she was, before she got married and when she first got married and on that honeymoon, she just had so much life in her. She just had she was oozing confidence. She was just, you know, very personable and happy and laughing and joking. And then when we saw her throughout this season, she just seems like she was down. She was moping. Her eyes were just so sad this whole season. She looked like someone that was walking on eggshells. And I wish that she would not have allowed how he felt about her to influence how she carried herself. The way she carried herself at decision day and calling him out and saying what was on her mind, I wish she would have done that this entire season. He deserved it. He deserved to be called out. He got away with murder. And I'm not mad at Jasmine about it. I just wanted her to do it for her, instead of constantly being worried about how he felt. They felt like they had so much fun together, and they feel like they have a solid foundation because they don't hate each other. Like, because people who have been married for 13 years, like, they hate each other. Like, no. Especially for newlyweds. Are you kidding me? Y'all should be lovey-dovey. I mean, the bar is in Hades. Then we get to decision day. Jasmine looked like a beautiful pageant girl as usual. She's always gonna come giving her regalness in her beautiful dress and hair and makeup. Eris looked nice in his suit. He looks like ants in that suit, but I'll say that he looked nice in it. When they're sitting down with the experts for the decision, you know, he's describing how she kept the house peaceful, she cooked, she cleaned. She just made a soft place for him to land every day. And basically just describing her as the perfect wife, like all of the great things that she has, you know, brought to this marriage. And he really let that lack of attraction, like his shallowness, he really let that overshadow it all. And now at this point, he feels like he possibly could have moved past it. You know what I'm saying? Shut up. Don't nobody want to hear that. And then at some point he said he wanted to see the real her, but it's like you really didn't give her the space to do it. Once you said you weren't attracted to her, it's like, I'm going to be 1,000% uncomfortable with this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could I possibly be myself when I think any little thing I do could possibly turn you off? You know what I'm saying? You already don't like me. So my goofy personality is just gonna rub you the wrong way. So then they get to the decision. I'm so glad they let her go first. She deserved it after everything she went through, okay? The trials and tribulations. that y'all gave her when y'all set her up with Aries. The least y'all could do is let her have her dignity and go first. She basically said that this marriage is not what she prayed for. This is not what she wanted in a husband, and that she does want to get a divorce. And I was like, yes ma'am. I was so proud of her. I was so proud of her for putting herself first in this situation. Like, she totally deserves to be able to rid herself of this man and move on. So then they asked a question of, okay, well, y'all are not going to stay married, so what have you found is a deal breaker for you now that you're single again? Aries had the nerve to say that he could only be with someone that could love themselves. And he just went on to talk about how he hugs himself 5 times a day. He looks in the mirror and smiles because he wants to see himself smiling, and how he tells himself that he loves himself and he needs somebody that's just like that. It sounds narcissistic. Now, there's nothing wrong with self-love. There's nothing wrong with self-confidence. When it comes to Aries, I feel like he's overcompensating and he's really insecure. I don't know that he hates himself, but I just don't think that he loves himself as much as he thinks he does. I feel like it's very performative, because when we see you and how you interact with certain people, you come off like you feel inferior to certain people. So I didn't like how he was trying to imply that she didn't love herself, when you in fact seem to have plenty of insecurities on your own. And she felt some type of way about what he said as well. She confronted him about it. She called him out on the fact that he has commitment issues, and she's like, it's great that you acknowledge it, but basically that's still in your nature. You're still moving like a single person that has one night stands and that doesn't want to truly be committed to someone. She feels like for this whole thing that he's been holding himself back from being fully committed, and he just wasn't ready to be married because he just never gave the effort that a husband should give. And he's even admitted that. I wish she would have said this sooner. I wish she would have confronted him sooner. I wish she would have put him on blast sooner. But I'm glad she did for that one last time at decision day, because he deserved it. And then at the end, on the confessionals, he was like, he's disappointed that he didn't get married intimacy, and, you know, basically talking about positions and everything. And I'm just like, you didn't learn one thing. I'm so glad Jasmine called you out, because you have not learned at all. Didn't Pastor Cal tell you that you could be intimate in other ways other than just in the bedroom? And you're talking about how you wish you could have experienced that as a married, like, bye. Goodbye. Good riddance. I hope no woman takes you seriously. I hope they look at this season and they run, because you don't deserve something that you're not willing to give yourself. So finally, we have Kirsten and Shaq. So before decision day, Shaq said that if his heart isn't in it 100%, then he's going to say no. She felt some type of way about him saying that. She responded by saying that if he did say no, she would get up and walk out. And then she tried to save face, like, because, you know, basically she put all her cards out there. And when he was like, oh, you already know you're going to say yes. And she basically was trying to save face. No, I didn't really know. Kirsten, we all know you're going to say yes. And basically she did say yes on decision day. She wanted to stay married. I ain't gonna lie, I was not paying attention to that segment. I was kind of really drifting off at this point. So all I know is that she said yes, and we ended on a cliffhanger with Shaq. Why are y'all doing this? Why are y'all doing this? It is so unnecessary for y'all to be dragging this out. Y'all could have at least gave us Shaq's answer. A part of me wants to look up spoilers right now just to spite y'all, because I don't feel like waiting until next week to hear what he's gonna say. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think down below. Are you just as mad as I am that they're really stretching this season out and they're doing a 2-part decision day on the most boring season ever of Married at First Sight? Y'all let me know what you think down below. I would love to hear your opinion, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.